Welcome, everyone, to How to Master Consumer Financing and Win More Jobs. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedules and operating your businesses across the country here to join us and hopefully learn a little bit about the topic today. Before we kind of dive in, I just want to introduce who you see here on the screen. I'm Ryan. You may have met me if you've done any financial technologies sessions here at Workiz. I'm the financial technologies lead, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Will Minnick, who is a product expert over at Wisetack. Will, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Ryan. Yep. Thanks so much for having me. Good to see everybody here. And like Ryan said, I'm a product expert over here at Wisetack. So excited to share a little bit more from my angle, what Wisetack can do to you as a business and offer your customers in kind of a flexible financing solution. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, lots to learn today from you. Thanks for lending us your expertise here. Before we also dive in, I want to point out you've got a chat and questions here in the interface. My friend Dovey will be helping answer some of those, as well as some other colleagues that are in the call here today. And if there's a kind of a pertinent one, then it'll be shouted out, and Will and I will do our darndest to address any questions you guys have. So without further ado, let's discuss kind of our agenda and what we're hoping to get out of today's session. So we want to kind of start with what consumer financing in today's economy looks like. What are kind of consumer perspectives on it, and how are people using it today, what it is. We're also going to discuss a better way to offer financing to your customers throughout the customer journey at your business. We're going to discuss how offering financing through your Workiz platform can help you increase job and ticket sizes for your residential customers. The importance of pre-qualification, again, as a piece of the customer journey from start to finish, and where, when, and how to offer financing to your customers. So we're going to hope to kind of break all of these down in bite-sized pieces. Again, ask questions throughout. If we're not clear on something, interrupt us, post it in the chat there, and we'll do our darndest to address everything. So let's talk about kind of current economic realities in 2026. Inflation has limited cash and the service options that our customers can afford. This is just real. And you probably feel it too. The reality is most of us don't have thousands of dollars of cash lying around. And so when circumstances happen, like the pipes burst or the roofing material fails or the HVAC system goes out in the heat of summer, work needs to get done, and it needs to get done often now. But our customers need flexibility and accessibility and affordability for our services. Moreover, they don't want just to opt for Band-Aids or lower levels of service because that's all they can afford. That's all they can budget today. They want to get what they need or what they kind of prefer done, and they need to figure out a way to do that financially. And so what we've come to learn is if we can't work within these economic realities of our customers and our customer base, then our customers and prospective customers will shop around for a pro that can. So really offering financing as a payment method and as a lever for our customers in 2026 is a competitive necessity. It's not an advantage or an extra feature anymore. The US is a well-established consumer financing market. We're not reinventing the wheel here. Really, what we're trying to discuss is bringing our businesses up to par. Interestingly, in 2025 alone, Americans charged $200 billion to buy now, pay later consumer financing services, just for day-to-day consumer products. I'd be curious if you guys would post in the chat if you had like a recent purchase that you made that you broke up into a payment plan, whether it was, a chair from Walmart or another online service or an Amazon purchase, or if it was a, home service purchase of your own. Curious if you guys have done this like I have, for sure. So imagine if we're buying shares from Walmart and other things online, what the need is when we have these kind of high ticket emergency service or home service jobs that require expensive equipment or lots of labor hours and expertise for our customers. The demand really exists across all industries. Workiz customers are already processing millions of dollars a month via consumer financing. So what does this tell us? If you're not offering financing, then oftentimes we're simply not offering the customer what they need to get the job done. When we don't offer financing, it can cause a handful of things. Jobs can get delayed or put off altogether due to sticker shock, because we are oftentimes putting forth a large number as a solution to what our customers need. If we offer financing, we can break it down into a bite-sized, reasonable monthly number that is accessible and attainable and understandable to our customer. And we can even then begin offering them kind of our better or best options for the services they actually need to get done. Which leads us into our second point here, that, oftentimes what our customer can afford is fixing the old or slapping a Band-Aid on the old system or the old pipes or the old roofing, when what they really need to get done in the long term is a new system, a new roof, a new set of whatever it may be. And this can kind of hurt your reputation, even if a customer perceives that you're trying to kind of pawn off this Band-Aid fix on the old rather than helping them get the new, which puts us in a difficult position as business owners. And alternatively, if you don't have good vetted partners, then sometimes we might accidentally find ourselves working with a loan partner that charges hidden fees or uses deferred or balloon interest payments, which can hurt your customers and, again, hurt your reputation for using that partner. So offering financing, especially kind of a built-in solution here, is going to help in a lot of different ways. Okay, so with, for example, external offers, oftentimes it's up to you and your team out in the field to hard sell with pen and paper. You need to be sales experts and product consumer financing experts. Whereas if you have a financing built into your software system, you've got visibility at every step. No more hard selling. There's going to be visual cues along the way with clarity for your customer that allows the customer and consumer to lead their own financing process, which brings much better and happier results. Oftentimes, working with external offerings, you have to disclose sensitive data and information like social security numbers, which can often deter customers away from even approaching the consideration of financing, as opposed to applying securely and privately. Also, you might see long, uncertain approval waiting periods. If your customer has to go and leverage a home equity line of credit or go get a personal loan at the bank or find a lending solution online elsewhere, whereas the partners that we work with, that we'll discuss later here in a moment, can get a pre-approval rating in 60 seconds or as fast as your customer's thumbs can type on their phone. A lot of other lenders are going to leverage hard credit checks to check eligibility, whereas our friends and colleagues that we use have no impact to your customer's credit score, just for checking what options are available to them. Because of the difficulty of offering external offerings, oftentimes you're going to get stuck with lower job sizes because we don't have the financing or purchasing power for our customers to win those bigger job sizes, which we can help with. And then once we get all that stuff sorted, now you're looking at tracking loans in a separate platform and seeing who's approved for what and when and where and for how long, as opposed to an easy integrated workflow. You're looking at potential subscription fees and high interest for you and high merchant dealer fees for for yourself as well, as opposed to predictable and fair fees with our partners, and even potentially long payouts or worse payouts that go to your customer rather than your business directly. So they go and shop around at other dealers and other vendors for the same services that you helped them get financing for, as opposed to getting paid in 1 to 2 business days directly to your bank account, like our partners offer. So who are these partners that I've been kind of mentioning in our Workiz consumer financing toolkit? Well, we've got 2. We've got Wisetack, who Will is with. Wisetack offers loans up to $25,000. Will, I've also heard that maybe we're expanding that offering to more than $25,000 this year. So excited to hear more about that. And we also have Sunbit that offers loans up to $10,000 as well. Neither is necessarily a better option. It really depends on your business model and industry and customer base. So because of this, we allow in Workiz, in your Workiz account, kind of a pick one or the other. And we typically, based on your industry, will put forth one in your feature center for you. So for garage door companies and HVAC companies, plumbing and electrical services, Wisetack is typically going to be your better fit rather for having a fully integrated solution, high approval rates, real-time review processes and quick applications on all your estimates and invoices. Wisetack for those types of services is great. And then for appliance repair and locksmith and junk and businesses like that, we have Sunbit in your Workiz account, and that's often a better fit for you there. So what does consumer financing look like in Workiz? Well, your team will be able to see the financing prompts across the entire workflow of the customer journey from start to finish, reminding them to always bring up and discuss that option with clients. By being able to see this at every step of the journey, both from the technician side and the mobile app out in the field or in the back office on the computer, you will be able to tailor and discuss low monthly payment options instead of just the high price that your customer might normally see. And this will allow you to proactively send and let your customer, again, lead their own financing journey rather than you micromanage it along the way. So again, this is going to allow a highlight of what actual monthly purchasing power your customer has. It's going to allow us to offer more upsells that the customer actually maybe wants or needs, but maybe can't afford without some sort of financing option. And it's going to help improve your team's experience overall because they're going to be easily able to know on the spot how to discuss a monthly purchase power payment with your customer rather than having to memorize a whole table or spreadsheet of options. And then once your customer is pre-qualified using that link, which we'll show you what that looks like here in a minute, your team is going to have access to see that, both again in the back office, out in the field as well. And this can continue the discussion about different levels of service that you might be able to offer based on how much that client is pre-qualified for. So for example, if your customer is qualified, say, for a $25,000 loan, but they had kind of a $10,000, $15,000 budget for your service, well, now we can discuss some not just good options or some Band-Aid options that we can afford today, but by offering them more purchasing power, then we can discuss better or best options that fit the ideal solution for your customer's needs. Will, I feel like I've been talking plenty here. Do you mind kind of talking to us about what it looks like to apply for financing, maybe from the customer's end here?
Yeah, absolutely. Great job there, Ryan. I think you hit on some of the main positives here. Generally, the biggest thing here is ease of use for you as a business and for your customers. So I think jumping into this here in this image, you're able to see it's all done digitally. So there's no need to download an app, no iOS store, Android app download needed. but it all kind of looks like an app. So it works very, user-friendly, super seamless. But essentially, as you can see here, the customer will see an as low as payment for when they do receive an estimate or an invoice from you as a business. So out of that client portal, they're able to quickly press the link to apply for that as low as payment. And then within a minute or two, or I like how Ryan put it, as quickly as your thumbs can, hit the screen, essentially very easy, simple information: first name, last name, annual income, address, and the best part, all a soft check. So just the first four of their social. They will be able to see a plethora of options for their personal scenario. So each time someone does apply with Wisetack, there's a unique option set. What we do offer is up to 10 years or 120 months of financing. And those terms can go anywhere from 0% up to 35% for an APR. That's really dependent on the FICO score, debt to income ratio, if there's any past delinquencies for that customer. But ultimately, this is an awesome option for them to quickly take away a little bit of that sticker shock of the total price tag, and choose what works best for them, whether that's the lowest monthly payment, lowest interest rate, really whatever's best for their scenario. At the end of the day, with this financing option, there are very high approval rates and as well as conversion rates. Without getting too particular with those numbers, essentially 70% is part of our conversion rate on average across all of our businesses. So all that to say is when they are approved, they really like their options and move forward and select one of those to get the job done.
Very cool.
Any questions on that one we have coming in? Dovey, are you keeping an eye there?
We've got questions, but I think most of them can wait to the Q&A.
Okay, awesome. So a little bit of the pre-qualification advantage. So the power of the pre-qual here, essentially you can build proposals around a customer's buying power. So, within, a minute or two before you've even maybe spoke with a person in person at their home or met with them or had a phone call with them, they can use a pre-qualification link that's unique to your business. And you can then know, how much a customer can afford. And at times it can help clients say yes to a job by making it affordable to them. So without even checking the scope of work, you've already seen, maybe they can apply and be approved for 25K. And potentially you have a good, better, best scenario that comes up. So somebody might want a premium material or an extra square footage of fencing or roofing, whatever it might be in your, sub-vertical of the trades. But essentially, this is a great time to be able to kind of upsell and see if they can afford that more premium product. With this being said, with the proposals around that, you can see their spending power. You don't need to just do what they need in the system that they absolutely need done today. They can get more of the work done, a little bit extra premium there on top of that with financing. At the end of the day, this tells you the best way to quote for that individual customer. Gives them an answer within a minute if they are approved for that. And at the end of the day, 70% of pre-qualified customers do opt into financing. So, with our rates and our competitiveness, this is something that people tend to agree upon and want to use for their payment method to close more jobs and higher ticket sizes for you. Okay, so a little bit of where, when, how to offer this. Essentially, where, anytime from the office before you've even got on the job. Whoever's taking those initial phone calls and booking the meetings, this should be mentioned on the phone. It's also for all customers on the documents that they have in the client portal. So once you've created those estimates, once you've created those invoices, this will all be available to them. Also your techs in the field. So, mention it when they're quoting on the job. If they're sitting at the kitchen table, ask things like, do you think of monthly installments here? Would you want to break this up into, a payment plan? Do you want to pay this all at once or break it up? This is a great kind of verbiage to use if you see they might be interested. And then when, so, in some of these conversations, whether it be the beginning, the meeting setup, or, once the quote's being made, you can sometimes kind of sense this when cash is tight, or when someone might want the good, better, best scenario. They want the best, but they might not have that budget. Like Ryan mentioned, maybe they came into it with 10 or 15 grand as their budget, but they get approved for another 15 or 20 grand with Wisetack. So then you can go ahead and offer that premium product. Obviously, if a customer at the beginning is interested in financing, definitely have them sign up for the pre-qualification link. So, within a couple minutes, they can know if you're a contender for doing the job because you offer that financing. And then a little bit of the how here. So suggest pre-qualification. Like I said, that's an early on in the process thing you can do to determine what they can afford for financing, as well as kind of like using the numbers around this system installment might be $20,000. With monthly payments, it's just $234 per month. Or the impact that it takes on their credit score, it's just completely soft. So it's no hard check on checking their eligibility. And then there are some 0% off options that you can offer as well. So these are true 0% options. There's no late fees on these or deferred interest. So if someone says, they have a job that's $6,000, breaking that into a true 0% offering can be a great way for them to save more capital and do what they want with that on their monthly basis. Okay, and sort of a look here at the financing options with Wisetack. So kind of what I went over, it's 10 years is our max term length. Those are the other term lengths you'll have in between those 10 years. So going from 3 months all the way up to 120 months. These are equal monthly payments. So all simple interest, there's no hidden fees, no deferred interest, and the client doesn't need to be on the deed of the home or the title of the home. Overall, this is a great way to kind of know what the customer might expect when they are approved. So it's good to know. You can let them know it's 10 years is the longest term length. We offer 0% options. Otherwise, it's all a soft check to check your options, and going from there, we will present the best rates and APRs possible for that customer. And then I think we have a little demo here just to kind of click through how easy it is in Workiz.
Yeah. In Workiz, both once you're approved, and we'll go through that after this, with our financing partners in Workiz, all your estimates and invoices within the range that Wisetack and Sunbit respectively offer financing it'll appear as an option both on the estimate and the invoice level, with a breakdown of the as low as monthly payment. So depending on the point in the customer journey that you're at with your customer, you can either send the loan application as a text message to your customer's phone that you have on file in Workiz, and they can apply there. Or when you send out your estimate or invoice here, they'll also see that as low as X dollars a month payment option here. So when they select that, then they will select the pay over time payment option and be greeted with a little bit of instruction. What are we doing here, right? And so again, another way that you don't have to be the expert consumer financing advisor. We're helping provide tools for your customer so that they know what they're doing here. So apply to see your monthly payment options. It's fast and easy. There's no hidden fees for this. There's even some 0% interest-free options for eligible customers. See payment options. So we'll verify the phone number as a 2-factor authentication here. And then this is the application for your customer. So this is exactly what your customer is going to see here. They're going to see that they have to fill out their name, their email, their birthday, annual income, last 4 of the social, their home address, and their monthly rent or mortgage. So again, like Will said earlier, it doesn't have to be the landlord or the owner of the home. It can be a tenant here even too. So again, should be pretty quick for your customer to punch that in on their phone, right? 60 seconds, maybe less, maybe more if they're bad with their thumbs. And once they click continue, as fast as their internet loads, they will have their pre-qualified options, no credit ping here to see what options we've got. So they'll look at their options available to them, and they can click on any of these options to see kind of a summary of what the offer is. So in this scenario, we can see how much we're financing, how many payments we're breaking that into, what each payment is going to be, when do we estimate that we start these payments, what financing or interest charges do we have, if any, and what are my total payments over the life of this loan if I don't pay it off early. But Will, there's no early prepayment penalties.
Nope, no prepayment penalties at all.
If your customer gets their sweet tax return here and want to just knock out that Wisetack loan early, by all means. So if they like it, then they'll sign it there. And here, when the job is done, your customer can release the payment 1 to 2 business days later. You'll receive that money directly to your bank account there. And then in Workiz, we show that your job, this estimate, this invoice is paid via installments.
One thing to highlight there, Ryan, from that last step you showed. So essentially, when the offer is locked in, I think you echoed on it a little bit earlier, but with your business, once they lock in that loan rate and they're fully in on it, it's going to be paid back to you as a business. So the customer isn't able to go and shop around with this, and rate shop and go to another business down the road who offers them just $200 cheaper even. So at that point, you've really walked them through this process and got them to close on the deal. They can't go and shop around with these funds. They never actually will touch the funds. It's all going to be directly paid back to you.
Yeah, great highlight. Thanks, Will. So let's talk about, okay, we've got a customer who applied in your Workiz platform for some consumer financing. How do we keep track of all of this, right? Like, how do we have visual line of sight on what we're doing here? And in Workiz, we actually give you a Wisetack consumer financing report here. So you'll be able to see everything here in one place. You'll also be able to see it on your clients and your jobs and these estimates and invoices. But if you want to see all your finance loans in one place, who's got them, who needs to complete the application, you've got a Wisetack consumer financing report. So this will track all of your paid as well as your open loans. You can send application links to your customer for incomplete applications. And you'll also see in the top right there, that little yellow button and the text next to it, a guide to offering consumer financing that you can access at any time for refreshers or for new teammates who need to kind of wrap their head around what that looks like, as well as a payment calculator to assess kind of loan payback amounts and APRs in real time if your customer needs a little bit extra help or just has questions. What does this even look like if I were to take 60 seconds to do this? So we've talked a lot about the how, the what, the who's of it all. Let's get really practical here. If this is this makes sense, I want to be able to offer this in my Workiz system too to my customers. How the heck do I do this? Well, all you have to do is go to your feature center, which is the 4 little squares in the top right of your computer screen on your Workiz account. And then I like to search browse by category and select finance. Depending on what type of business you have, you're either going to see Wisetack consumer financing, like you see on the screen here, or you might see pay over time installments, and that's our other partner, Sunbit. You're going to click on that icon there for the integration, and it's going to show you a button that says Learn More and Apply. You'll fill out that application. It may take a couple of business days to process and review, and then once approved, you'll be able to begin offering Wisetack or Sunbit consumer financing. So once that is active in your Workiz account, and this is what clients will see when they're viewing even estimates in their client portal. They get to see the option to pre-qualify and easily fill out that application and it becomes a natural flow in the customer journey, this process of from first conversation as a lead to a paying happy customer. We've got a little breakdown video here to refresh and remind us. Once we send out this loan application, your customer is going to receive a text that looks like this with a link, and they'll click on that and fill out that application. Some basic information they don't need to go and look up. They'll review their options and select which one works for them in their situation. And then once the job is done, they'll release the payment and you get paid. It's as easy as that. Okay, we are coming to a close. What are some key takeaways that we've kind of discussed that we hope that you go home with or come back to your business partners and your colleagues at work, your technicians, considering and thinking about the rest of the day? Well, first, financing is a growth lever. It's not just a payment method. Financing offers you the ability to help your customers afford your services and choose the option that they want. Give them the purchase power to do what they need, not just what they can afford and budget for today. Also, the experience matters, and it matters both for your customer and your team. It both matter, right? Enabling your team to communicate and sell financing options in an easily understandable process and experience is good for your team. It's good for your customer too, as they have much more clarity and visibility and control of their own financial journey with you. So the experience matters. What else matters? Approval rate and speed also matters when it comes to your job. If customers have to wait days or even hours for approval or hearing back on what options they might have, they will move on. The same way that if you take a long time to quote your customer, they will also move on. Wisetack offers 70% approval or a 70% conversion rate from an approved financing application to a paid job. It's huge, right? How many of us would love a 70% conversion rate on all of our job opportunities, our leads? Okay. And then lastly, the right solution is what's good for both you and you as a business and your customers. The financing partners that Workiz has chosen to work with are great. They offer fair rates both to you and your customer. They're offering a seamless experience for you and your customer. And these are providers that you can feel comfortable offering to your customers as a representation of you and your business. That's why we chose great folks like Will and Wisetack and our partners at Sunbit as well. And we know that you'll see the same. That is kind of what we have for you guys today. We hope that this was really helpful. Will, you got a few minutes to see if we can answer any questions that might have popped up in the chat or anything like that? You got some time?
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away. I would love to go across some of these. Dovey, do you want to lead that?
Yeah, before we get to the questions, and we'll get to all of them, maybe it would be worthwhile to just show everyone again how to apply in Workiz. Maybe you guys can do it live right now. If you have questions, you can ask us while we're here.
Yeah, like a merchant application through the feature center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just show it again.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec. I can pull it up.
We find that there's always a lot of interest in adopting these sort of features, but it just takes a bit of headspace and time to do it. And we have that headspace and time right now. So let's just make sure that the application process is clear.
Great point. Yeah.
And
for those of you that see Sunbit in your feature center, it's going to be a similar application, a little bit different. If you feel as though you need something else, you can feel free to reach out to contact-marketing@workiz.com. Let me pull
Yeah, also while Ryan's pulling this up for anyone out there, just if you have any questions on maybe, what you might think is something holding you back from offering financing, any concerns you have, please answer or ask those questions in that chat, and I'll be sure to answer them here.
Yeah, thanks, Will. That helps. Okay, so how are we going to apply for a financing partner in Workiz? Well, as I mentioned, there's your 4 little squares in the top right. That's your feature center. And you're going to click that and search for either Wisestack consumer financing or pay over time installments. Another way you can do this is by clicking on that finance category there. So in this example, we've got Wisetack. We want to make sure that that toggle is enabled. And you'll see something like manage feature, or the wording might be learn more and apply for some of us. And when we do that, it's going to have us verify our email. And then we're going to fill out our business entity information. So this legal name will be your LLC, your corporation, like that. Business address, if that's your home address, that works too, as long as it's kind of what matches the registry with the state. Phone number and email. And then go ahead and let us know your EIN or your tax identification number, what kind of industry we're in, and if you have a website. Do we own 25% or more of the business?
Real quick, so for that one, if there's more than someone, like more than 2 people or 3 people that have 25% or more, they all will need to be on that application, just as a heads up.
Helpful call out. Thanks, Will. And then you can add additional business owners here as well. You're of course going to have to link a bank account here to Wisetack so they know where to send your money when you get paid. And they do that using Plaid. If you're not familiar with Plaid, this is in 2026 the most secure way to connect your bank account to different software. All they do is securely connect your bank account to different software platforms. We use it here at Workiz. We use it to connect your bank account to Wisetack here. It's great. You select your bank institution and you connect your bank account using your login and password. And then once you submit that, you'll see the pending as an option, as the kind of button here instead of learn more apply. Then Will gets your application and his underwriting team will take a look at it and keep you posted.
Yep, for sure. And I mean, if there's any sort of questions along the way, would love to help out with that. I can, expedite these applications if you feel like there's a customer that really needs to get a loan across to make sure you can complete a job. And as well as we offer training for you, your techs, the rest of your team. So I want to make sure we all have everybody situated and feeling comfortable with offering the loans.
Okay, first question from Dustin. Dustin is asking if we have any plans here at Workiz to integrate with Affirm or Klarna.
That's a good question. The short and long of it is no, but we chose Wisetack and Sunbit as partners specifically because they work with home service businesses like yours. While customers might be somewhat more familiar with Affirm or Klarna, they're not specialized in working with home service businesses like yourself. Also, some of those are much more expensive than our offerings with Wisetack and Sunbit. So that's potentially worth noting as well. But the short of it is no, we don't plan on looking at that.
It's also, I think, desirable not to be working with, well, let me say that more carefully, to make sure that the partners you're working with are not charging exorbitant interest rates. So, I would Google the partners that you're working with now to see some of these partners charge credit card levels of interest rates from your clients versus, for example, Wisetack. Check out their rates as well. It's nothing in comparison. And it's really designed for these larger ticket items that you would find in the trades.
Yeah, great point, Toby.
Okay, Josh is asking if a Wisetack link can be sent from, or let's say financing link can be sent from the lead estimate page and not from the job in the app.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. Yes, great question. So yeah, once you share an estimate to your customer to kind of give them a quote or even a sales proposal in Workiz, which is one of our features on the Ultimate plan. If you want to offer a good, better, best, or bronze, silver, gold package, your customer can pre-qualify for the services that you're offering there. To complete the payment, just note that they will need to do that on an invoice. So if your customer gets pre-qualified on an estimate, they won't be able to complete the payment until you convert that to a job with an invoice. So just take a note of that there. Great
Josh,
question.
just to build on that, everyone will see the option everywhere. It's on the job, it's on the estimate, it's on the invoice, it's on the client portal. Your back office will see it. So in any client conversations, they can mention it. Your techs will see it on their app in the field, so they can talk about it when it comes time to quoting on site or payments. It's really everywhere, and the reason for that is because it does help with conversions. It does help increase your average ticket size. It helps with everything, and so we want there to be visibility across the process, and it also reduces the need for techs to be the ones who are hard selling this and trying to, because the customer sees it throughout the journey as well.
Absolutely.
Debbie is asking, will all customers see the 0% offer or only if they pre-qualify for certain terms?
Will, do you mind taking this one?
Yep. Yeah. So they'll only have that 0% come up, that option if they are approved for it. We do offer various 0% options that have some different fees, but they go from a 0 month at 3 months as the starter. Then we have a 6 month, 12 month, and a 24 month. So with that, a customer will be presented all of the best options available to them, specific to their own scenario and credit profile. And then from there, they'll see them all lined up and just get to choose on their own. So it's really nice, very hands-off for you. You don't have to deal with their personal information at all. You don't have to memorize any rates or any fees for them. So it's very nice. Wisetack allows it all just to be done very hands-off for you.
That's super helpful. Will, maybe to expand on Debbie's question, do you recommend maybe avoiding the, hey, you'll get a 0% thing because customers might not? How do you approach that kind of conversation from maybe a technician's perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing you hit on just in that past question too is the ease of that pre-qualification link to be sent out. So I would never lead with them knowing that you have a 0% offer for sure. It would be more so it takes a couple minutes to see all of your options here. So why don't you go ahead, apply with Wisetack today, and if it makes sense, you can move forward with it. If not, we can reconvene on if you want to pay with cash, check, card, whatever it might be. So I would just say that pre-qualification is the best way to not get yourself any hot fire. Just go ahead and have them get applied, see if they're approved. And at that point, like we kind of touched on in the beginning, their spending power at that point. So if they have a certain amount, then it's kind of opening up the window for premium doors or windows or whatever it might be.
That's super helpful.
I think that's worth.
Love a good pun too.
Love it.
I think pre-qualification is worth expanding on even more. It's really an enablement tool for your business. It not only it tells you that there are funds to pay, it tells you how to quote. It's client engagement. It increases the conversion rate once it happens, and it's all a soft credit check. So there's really no downside to doing it, and it just adds so many tools to your disposal. It makes you stand out compared to competitors who are not offering this, and it changes the entire tone of the conversation away from $25,000 ticket price to $400 a month. It just changes the whole conversation without even doing a hard credit check.
Great point, Toby. And
Yeah.
one more thing to add real quick is with the pre-qualification link, you can actually add that to your website, your email signatures. We have co-branding materials that you can order with us for free through a print shop. But essentially that could go on a QR code anywhere and be lead generation at that point. So even if you haven't spoke to somebody and they click your unique pre-qualification link for your business, they're able to sign up and you know their cell phone, email address, and what they can afford. So that can really come through as a great lead generation.
Yeah, great point.
Next question. If a customer has a question about their loan or repayment, who can they get in touch with?
Yeah, I did send a little thing in there, a blurb for once you are with Wisetack. We have a 6-day-a-week US-based support. So it's from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays. And then as well as, you have me and our account managers here at Wisetack as a great resource. So if you're sitting at the kitchen table, want to get something across the line, there's a little bit of a hiccup going on, definitely here to hop in and help. Just for if I'm on a call like this or with another customer of ours, our support is very well regarded, and we have a 79 NPS score within the industry. So all that to say is most of the time people are really marking us as a 9 or 10 on that scale of customer satisfaction.
Tim is asking, what fees are the contractors charged for offering financing?
Yeah, great question. So with Wisetack in particular, we have a 3.9% dealer fee across the board. So really nice and predictable. I did mention earlier some 0% options that essentially work as like you're offering a buy down to your customers for a better 0% option. Those fees will go up a little bit, and I can share out that information, but essentially the 6-month 0% would be a 4.9 fee, the 12-month would be a 6.9, and the 24 would be a 9.9. So that's all up to you to be able to turn those 0% on. And if someone isn't approved and confirms that 0%, you're just paying the 3.9% across the board.
I do want to highlight, and Will, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that I'm correct in saying that starting fee of 3.9% is all there is to pay, meaning you're not paying a credit card processing fee on top of that. And therefore, it's really just a marginal cost in addition to what you would anyways have to pay for credit card processing, but you get a huge amount of value in return for that extra percent.
Yes, yeah, spot on. Great point. That is it. And I mean, to sign up with us, there's no sort of sign up fees, there's no contract at all. So truly, we want to be a great partner for you and have this be a success. And we're also going to be here to check in with our account managers to make sure this is, an option that's making the most for your bottom line and for your margins, for you to kind of understand, what's this financing doing to hopefully grow you to the next level.
Trevor is asking, are the APY percentages, I guess that's similar to APR, APY percentages automatically applied per each client depending on their pre-qualifications?
Yes. Yeah. So based on the soft credit pull for the pre-qualification process, it'll look at the FICO score as well as the kind of debt to income ratio and a few other factors to determine what APRs or APYs the customer might receive to borrow that money over time. Will, did I do okay on that one?
Yep. Yeah, you did great. I was trying to look over the question, and it is a little bit nuanced. So I think just essentially what's really easy about Wisetack is if they plug in their quick details, it takes less than a minute, and we're going to do all the work to offer them the best rates possible. So I think what's really nice to know on your end, it's no like extra lift that you have to have. It's just going to show up on your estimates. If it's a good option for them and to close the deal, they're going to do it. If not, it's just like old school cash, and that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I talked a little bit about like kind of hard paper selling. You know, I've spoken with a lot of business owners that are using kind of external systems, and they literally have to have a binder of sheets in the truck to open up and be like, "Hey, what's your credit score? Yeah, you might get this rate." And it's not a great way to communicate with your customer. It's not a good experience for anyone, for your technician or your customer.
Right.
So yeah,
And
this is so much better.
yeah, and we've taken on all that risk for you at that point as well. So once you're locked in with the loan, you're going to be paid out minus that 3.9% fee or whichever 0% interest it might have been. And at the end of the day, we deal with all the monthly payments then and everything on the back end. So you're clean, hands-free right after the job is locked in. You're going to be paid back.
And to follow up on that, another question from Trevor. Do they pay separately through Wisetack and their Workiz stays clean with the amount that's signed for on the estimate, meaning we don't show any additional fees from Wisetack?
Correct. Yes. It will be just directly paid back through Wisetack at that point. Really just Workiz in this situation is sticking to the invoicing and the integration, but at that point, Wisetack takes on all those payments and deals with the customer from your end. So
I'm not actually clear if Trevor's question is what Will just answered, or more of a question for Ryan and what is shown in the reporting in Workiz, if the Wisetack fee is reflected there.
So let me try to find it here so I can read it clearly.
While Ryan is looking that up, I'll ask the next question. Do we pay any fee directly to Wisetack even when the client gets 0% APR?
Yes, it'll be that 3.9% if it's a 3-month 0%. And then any interest-bearing loan will be at 3.9%. So think of that as the baseline fee. The only way that you would pay anything more is if you choose to offer an extended 0% option. So those would be that 6-month is a 4.9, 12-month is a 6.9, 24 is a 9.9 to you as the dealer fee there. So even if there is a 0%, that's just your incentive to be able to offer this 0% to the customer. At the end of the day, you'll have to, kind of pay a little bit more of a fee because you're offering them.
Last few questions here. Debbie's asking, does the customer sign loan documents? Does the business need to sign them as well? Does the business get a copy of the loan documents in case the customer wants to confirm their payment info?
I will take that. So the first two, there's the no and no. This is all digital, so they don't have to sign any like loan documents as far as like anything pen and paper. Through that digital process we walked through of them locking in their loan, that's the point that they will, be fully locked in and have the loan signed off. It's essentially like them hitting that button and putting in their social security number. And then on your end, as far as kind of like documents to be able to, keep track of the payment, you'll be notified when someone gets into a locked offer status and be able to track everything within Workiz. But you won't be sent in an actual like loan document recording of that loan going through, as far as I'm concerned. So
there is a report in Workiz that shows all your consumer financing loans, the payment status, all that sort of thing, but it's all digital, paper-free, and I would add easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Delving to Trevor's earlier question on the job estimate and invoice, the payment will be, as I showed earlier, shown as as the kind of the full job payment. So it reconciles out. We also reconcile that information to your payments report, as well as if you use our QuickBooks Online integration, that's also reconciled there as well.
Thank you, Ryan. Next question. With some of my franchisees that have used Wisetack, They found that when they send an estimate to the customer, they can only pre-qualify and can start paying with an invoice. Is that the only way, or is there a workaround?
So this kind of speaks to what I mentioned earlier, where on estimates in Workiz, your customer can pre-qualify, but if they are ready to pay, then we need to generate that invoice to complete the payment there, Gage. Great question. Good to see you, bud.
Next question. When the job is completed, is it the customer that needs to click to confirm that the job was done in Wisetack, or do you need something from the business as well, like a completion form?
Yeah, great question. That will be Wisetack has the loan link for them still accessible, and they'll need to go in and click jobs complete, and you'll be paid back within 1 to 3 business days. So, of course, the question kind of comes up, what if they run off and never click that button? Rest assured, Wisetack has taken on the risk of this loan, and we'll have to figure that out. But with that being said, it's very rare that this comes up. At the end of the day, it does help to have like your proof of completion, before and after photos of the job. Just keep the typical practices that you would do for a typical job. And overall, what the answer is yes, you'll have the customer get reminded that the job's completed, and just to click the button to let the business know.
Yeah, and all of that job work and proof of completion, guess what? Can be stored in your Workiz software platform on your job. It's also worth noting that that customer can go back to the payment link via the client portal at any time to click the job is done.
And the last question we have here, right on time, and a good one to end with, is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded, and everyone here will get the replay link.
Great. Well, hey, I appreciate Dovey, you being here and helping moderate this. Big thank you for putting this together for all of us and all your hard work on this. Will, thank you for joining us today. It's always good to see you, pal, and really enjoy working with you guys. If you guys have any questions, if you're reviewing this later, or if if we missed you, I'm super sorry. Feel free to reach out to contact-marketing@workiz.com. We'll send you the recording here shortly as soon as it's processed. And I hope you guys learned a thing or two today, and this was a helpful use of your time today. Appreciate you guys, and don't hesitate to reach out. Let us know how we can help.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.